Learn English through story. A Lover's Whisper. In the quaint coastal town of Eldersridge, where the sun set over the shimmering ocean and the air was perfumed with the scent of salt and wildflowers, lived a woman named Claire. She was a painter, known for her vibrant landscapes and emotive portraits. But beneath the surface of her creative spirit lay a profound longing for something more, something that had eluded her for years. Claire had once been deeply in love with James, a childhood sweetheart who had filled her days with laughter and her nights with dreams. They had shared aspirations of travel, art, and a life brimming with passion. But as life often does, it took unexpected turns. James had left Eldersridge to pursue his ambitions in the city, and Claire remained, her heart tethered to memories of their time together. The vibrant colors of her paintings began to fade, and she found herself lost in a sea of nostalgia. As the seasons changed, Claire focused on her art, pouring her emotions onto the canvas. Yet, no matter how hard she tried to capture the beauty of the world around her, the vibrant hues eluded her. Her heart felt like a muted palette, drained of joy. Friends encouraged her to move on, but she clung to the hope that James would return, that their love was not lost but merely paused. One summer evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow over the landscape, Claire received an unexpected phone call. It was James. His voice was like a melody she hadn't heard in years, and for a moment, time stood still. He spoke of his life in the city, of the dreams he had chased and the successes he had achieved. But what caught Claire's attention was the way he spoke of returning home. "I've missed Eldersridge," James said, his voice tinged with nostalgia. "I've missed you, Claire. I want to come home." Her heart raced at his words. The thought of seeing him again sent waves of emotions crashing over her. After a few minutes of conversation, they arranged to meet the following week at their favorite spot, a secluded beach where they had spent countless summer afternoons. The days that followed were filled with anticipation and dread. Claire found herself questioning everything. Had they both changed too much? Would they still share the same connection? As she prepared for their reunion, she felt a mix of excitement and fear. She decided to paint a picture for him, a vibrant seascape that encapsulated her feelings, an offering of her heart, laid bare on canvas. The day of their meeting arrived, and the sun shone brightly over Eldersridge. Claire stood at the edge of the beach, her heart pounding in her chest as she waited. Memories flooded her mind, the laughter they shared, the whispered secrets, the promise of forever. She clutched the painting tightly, the colors vibrant against the backdrop of the serene ocean. Then she saw him. James walked toward her, his silhouette framed by the setting sun. Time had changed him. He was taller, more confident, yet the warmth in his eyes remained unchanged. As he approached, Claire felt a rush of emotions. They stood there for a moment, enveloped in silence, words unspoken but understood. "Claire," James said softly, his voice a low whisper that sent shivers down her spine. "You look beautiful." "Thank you," she replied, her voice barely above a whisper. "I've missed you." They embraced, and the world around them faded away. It was as if no time had passed. They fell into an easy rhythm, exchanging stories of their lives apart. Claire showed him her painting, and James's eyes lit up with admiration. "It's incredible," he said, genuinely impressed. "You've captured the essence of this place." As they walked along the shoreline, the sun casting a golden hue over the ocean, Claire felt the walls around her heart begin to crumble. Their connection, once thought lost, felt as alive as ever. But as they shared laughter and dreams, a lingering question hung in the air. Could they rekindle what they had once shared, or had life pulled them too far apart? Days turned into weeks as James settled back into the rhythm of Eldersridge. He spent time with Claire, attending gallery openings and exploring the beauty of their hometown. They painted together, wandered the beach, and shared stories long into the night. The intimacy of their friendship deepened, and Claire felt the flutter of hope in her heart. Yet, beneath the surface of their reunion, Claire felt a whisper of doubt. She noticed subtle changes in James, the way he spoke of his life in the city, the ambitions that now defined him. He had grown into a man with dreams and aspirations. And she couldn't help but wonder if those dreams still included her. One evening, as they sat on the beach, watching the stars twinkle above, Claire turned to him, her heart racing. "James, do you ever think about what we had, about us?" James looked at her, his expression contemplative. "I do. I think about it a lot. But things have changed, Claire." "I've changed, have you?" she asked, her voice trembling. "Do you still want to be with me?" He paused, the silence stretching between them like an unbridgeable chasm. "I care about you, Claire, I always will, but I'm not sure if I can commit to a relationship right now. I'm still figuring things out." The words felt like a cold wave crashing over her. Claire's heart sank as the realization settled in. The passion they once shared was still there, but the reality of their lives had changed. They were no longer the carefree children who dreamed of the future. They were adults with responsibilities, ambitions, and uncertainties. Days passed, and the weight of their conversation hung over Claire like a storm cloud. The more she tried to push her feelings aside, the more they consumed her. She found herself retreating into her art, but even painting couldn't quiet the turmoil within her. One evening, while painting by the ocean, Claire lost herself in the colors and textures of the landscape. As she brushed the canvas, she poured her heart into her work, at each stroke an expression of her pain, her hope, and her longing. In that moment, she felt a presence behind her. It was James, watching her with admiration. "Your art is beautiful," he said softly. "It's like you're painting your soul." Claire turned to him, her heart racing. I'm trying to capture everything I feel." James stepped closer, his gaze intense. "What do you feel, Claire?" The question hung in the air, laden with unspoken emotions. "I feel lost," she admitted, her voice trembling. "I thought we could find our way back to each other, but I don't know if you want the same thing." "I do care about you, Claire," James said, his voice low and earnest, "but I'm scared. I've built a life in the city. It's hard to imagine going back to what we had." The honesty in his words pierced through her heart. Claire stepped back, her mind racing. "Maybe we're just holding on to memories," she whispered, tears filling her eyes. "Maybe it's time to let go." In that moment, Claire felt the weight of her decision, whether to fight for their love or to let it slip away like grains of sand through her fingers. She wanted to reach for him, to embrace the possibility of rekindling their love, but fear held her back. What if it was too late? As if sensing her turmoil, James reached out and took her hand, his touch sending a jolt of electricity through her. "Let's not rush into anything," he said gently. "Let's take it one day at a time." Claire nodded, her heart torn between hope and uncertainty. They spent the next few weeks exploring their feelings, navigating the delicate balance between friendship and love. They painted, walked the beach, and shared their dreams, but the unspoken tension lingered between them, a whisper of what could be. One night, as they sat on the porch of Claire's studio, sipping wine and watching the stars twinkle above, James turned to her. "I've missed being here with you. You make me feel alive." Claire's heart swelled at his words, but the doubt crept in again. "But can we really go back to what we had? Can we build a future together?" James looked out at the horizon, his expression contemplative. "I don't know," he admitted, "but I want to find out." Encouraged by his honesty, Claire leaned in closer, feeling the warmth radiate from him. "Then let's take the plunge together," she whispered, her heart racing. As their lips met, Claire felt a rush of emotions flooding over her. It was as if the universe conspired to bring them back together, rekindling the flame that had once burned so brightly. They kissed deeply, a mingling of longing and tenderness, the promise of new beginnings whispering in the night air. Yet, even in that moment of bliss, Claire couldn't shake the feeling that something still hung in the balance. They were caught between the past and the future, unsure of what lay ahead. Over the next few weeks, Claire and James explored their relationship with renewed fervor. They painted together, traveled to nearby towns, and spent lazy afternoons at the beach, lost in each other's company. But with each passing day, the tension grew as well. They were haunted by their previous choices, navigating the fragile landscape of their love with both excitement and trepidation. One evening, while watching the sun set over the ocean, Claire turned to James. "I can't keep pretending everything is perfect," she confessed. "I feel like we're standing at the edge of a cliff, and I'm scared of what happens if we jump." James nodded, his expression serious. "I feel it too. We're both afraid of falling, of getting hurt again." "Then maybe we should take a step back," Claire suggested, her heart heavy. "We need to figure out what we truly want." The words hung in the air, thick with uncertainty. Claire felt a sense of relief in her honesty but also an overwhelming sadness. They were at a crossroads, and the choices they made would shape their futures. In the days that followed, Claire focused on her art, pouring her emotions onto the canvas as she tried to make sense of her feelings. She painted late into the night, her brushes dancing across the surface as she expressed her heartache, confusion, and longing. One afternoon, while working on a piece, Claire received an unexpected visit from her mentor, Evelyn, a wise woman who had guided her artistic journey. As they sat together in the studio, Evelyn studied Claire's paintings, her expression thoughtful. "You're hiding your true feelings, my dear," Evelyn said gently. "Your art reflects the turmoil within you. What's holding you back?" Claire sighed, her heart heavy. "I'm afraid of losing James again. I don't want to go back to a life of longing and regret." Evelyn nodded, her gaze steady. "But you can't let fear dictate your choices. Love is about vulnerability and trust. If you truly want to be with him, you have to be willing to take that leap." The words resonated deep within Claire. She realized that she had been holding herself back, allowing fear to shape her decisions. If she wanted a future with James, she needed to embrace the unknown and trust in their connection. Inspired by Evelyn's wisdom, Claire returned to the beach where they had shared so many memories. She stood at the water's edge, the waves crashing at her feet, and closed her eyes, letting the salty breeze wash over her. In that moment, she made a silent vow to open her heart to love, to embrace the whispers of her soul. Later that evening, Claire saw James out at a local cafe tilde copyright, where he often worked on his laptop. As she approached him, her heart raced with anticipation and hope. "James, can we talk?" she asked, her voice steady. He looked up, surprise flickering in his eyes. "Of course. What's on your mind?" Taking a deep breath, Claire spoke from her heart. "I've been thinking about us, about what we want. I don't want to live in fear anymore. I want to embrace what we have, to explore it fully." James's expression softened, and he reached for her hand. "I felt the same way, but I was scared. I didn't want to hurt you again." "You won't," Claire assured him, "but we have to be open and honest about our feelings. No more holding back." They talked late into the night, sharing their hopes, fears, and dreams. They promised to support each other, to embrace vulnerability, and to explore their love without reservations. It was a turning point, a moment of clarity that solidified their commitment to one another. As summer faded into fall, Claire and James grew closer, their bond deepening with each passing day. They painted, laughed, and dreamed together, navigating the complexities of life with newfound courage. Claire found her colors returning, not only on her canvas but in her heart. Yet, even as they blossomed, Claire couldn't shake the feeling that life would throw them challenges. The world beyond their little town was vast, and the future remained uncertain. One evening, as they strolled along the beach, hand in hand, Claire turned to James. "What happens when the summer ends, when life gets busy again?" James paused, his gaze thoughtful. "We'll adapt, just like we always have. Love requires effort, but I'm committed to making it work." The weight of his words resonated deep within Claire. She realized that love was not just a feeling but a choice, a promise to stand by one another through thick and thin. As the days grew shorter and the leaves began to turn, Claire poured her heart into her art, using her paintings to express the beauty of love and the complexities of life. The gallery she had long dreamed of finally came to fruition, showcasing her work alongside pieces from other local artists. On opening night, the gallery was filled with laughter and conversation, the air thick with excitement. Claire stood beside James, feeling proud of their accomplishments. As guests admired her paintings, she felt a sense of fulfillment and joy. But as the evening wore on, a familiar face appeared in the crowd. Rebecca, James's former girlfriend from the city. Claire's heart raced as she watched them exchange pleasantries, a part of her feeling uneasy. James turned to Claire, sensing her discomfort. "She's just a friend, Claire, I promise." The reassurance in his voice calmed her, but as the night progressed, Claire found herself grappling with insecurities. The whispers of doubt crept back in, threatening to overshadow the love they had built. Later that night, as they sat on the porch, Claire opened up to James. "I know you care about me, but I can't shake the feeling that I'm not enough. What if you go back to the city? What if you find someone better?" James took her hands in his expression earnest. "Claire, you're more than enough for me. I chose to come back here because I want to be with you. I want to build a future together." Tears filled Claire's eyes as she absorbed his words. "I'm scared of losing you again," she admitted, her voice trembling. "I can't go back to the pain of longing." "You won't," James assured her. "We'll face whatever comes our way together. I'm here for the long haul." In that moment, Claire felt the weight of her fears lift. She realized that love required vulnerability, trust, and a willingness to face the unknown. With James by her side, she knew they could weather any storm. As winter settled over Elders Ridge, Claire and James continued to nurture their relationship, embracing the challenges that life presented. They found joy in the little moments of cooking together, exploring the nearby forests, and sharing dreams beneath the stars. The whispers of love and hope filled their hearts, a reminder of the journey they had taken to find one another again. With every passing day, Claire learned to embrace the uncertainties of life, trusting that their love would guide them through. One fateful evening, as they stood on the beach, James turned to Claire, his expression serious yet hopeful. "I've been thinking about our future," he said. "I want to take the next step with you." Claire's heart raced at his words. "What do you mean?" "I want to build a life together, Claire. I want us to be more than just here and now. I want to commit to you completely," James confessed, his eyes filled with sincerity. Tears of joy filled Claire's eyes as she processed his words. "Yes, 1,000 times yes!" she exclaimed, throwing her arms around him. They embraced, the waves crashing around them, echoing the heartbeat of their love. In that moment, Claire felt a profound sense of belonging. The fears that had once haunted her faded away, replaced by a warm certainty that they were meant to be together. As they stood on the beach, whispering sweet nothings into each other's ears, the moon illuminated their path, a lover's whisper that would guide them through the unknown. They had chosen love, vulnerability, and commitment, ready to embrace whatever adventures lay ahead. In the years that followed, Claire and James built a life filled with art, laughter, and shared dreams. They traveled to distant shores, painted landscapes together, and created a home brimming with warmth and love. The whispers of their journey echoed in their hearts, a reminder of the trials they had faced and the love that had blossomed against all odds. Together, they discovered that love was not merely a feeling but a choice, one that they chose every day, embracing the beauty and complexity of life hand in hand. As they stood together, watching the sun set over the horizon, Claire realized that she had finally found what she had longed for, a love that whispered of hope, passion, and a future filled with endless possibilities. And in that moment, she knew that their journey was only just beginning. I hope you enjoyed the story. If you enjoy, then please like and share this video, and don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel. Thank you for watching.